going on, everybody? I know it's been a while, but I've been busy. I've been real busy. So the last video that anybody probably saw was me firing up the engine, and it sounded fucking wonderful, let me tell you. But I've been busy. I got a radiator in here. I got my coolant hoses. Ended up using a stock upper hose for most trucks, Tahoes, Suburbans, Silverados. It doesn't fucking matter. This is a custom hose that I found. I had to do a search online for it, for a G-Body LS swap lower hose. It was like a 20734 was the Gates part number for O'Reilly's. Fits perfect right in there. Didn't have to trim nothing, man. It just fucking went right in there. Put some clamps on it. It's good to go. I got this is an ICT heater bypass hose that goes from a whatever size this is to this size. They're two different sizes, but it went right on. Put clips on it or clamps on it. It's working good. I got my transcooler lines. I ran AN lines from the transcooler. No thanks to Russell. Their AN fittings that go in the trans were on back order for way too fucking long. I was waited a month to find out it was going to be another month, so I went and got the same brand as this. I went through ICT for 4L80 AN fittings. They looked perfect. They fit perfect. They're not leaking. I ended up taking my digital calipers to measure and make sure that it was going to be the same and right, and it was. I got this ASI radiator from eBay. It was 200 bucks with fans and shroud, and it came with a relay kit for the fans. I'm still debating on if I want to run the fans together or separate, because the Phytech has a 1 and 2 fan control for two different temperatures, or AC and whatnot. Got my trans cooler is in there. You probably can't really see it, but you can see the fitting colors. It's in there. It's mounted in. For the power steering, I used the stock pump that came with this 6.0 out of a Suburban, and I ran some return hose I had to get from Advance to. There's two different return ports, I think, on this pump. So I ran the one to the bottom from my steering gear, and then I just ran a hose and capped it with a bolt, because it looked like it was like for like a remote fill, I'm guessing, for a Suburban, you know, where they hook up a line here and then they, like, you check it from somewhere else. I don't know, man. I have no idea. I capped it off. I said screw it. I capped it off, and so I didn't have to get a T or nothing, so I just ran a line straight from there to the pump. The feed line was from the 3.8 liter power steering pump on the original 78 Buick pump. I just unscrewed it from the original pump, and it threaded right into the back of the LS pump. From what I've read, it works just fine. There's even a part number on here, I think, because I replaced this right before the car blew up. What is that, an 89158? It worked perfect. Went in, tightened up. I got my ground strap there to the frame. Let's see. I got my shifter is mounted. I don't have my cable for it ran yet. There's the Phytech box. But I tightened up all my steering. This thing's almost ready to put on the ground and drive. I just have to get a steam vent hose. I'm not going to do anything special. I'm just going to use the stock steam vent line, and then run a 1/4 inch coolant hose from wherever the steam vent is over there, and just run it to that port right there on the radiator, because that's actual coolant port right there. It's not. It's, you know, it's after the cap, not before it. I don't know what I'm going to do for an overflow bottle. I'll probably just use some random shit. I don't know. I haven't gotten there yet. I don't really care. I kind of want to get this thing up to temp and make sure it runs good. This is my trans dipstick from Locar, and I ended up having to get a Locar throttle cable as well. And that was a trim to fit cable too. It worked great. It was just kind of tricky getting it the perfect length, and then I had to adjust that out to tighten it. But it worked good. And this is a Holley bracket. Phytech's bracket was on back order for a really long time, so I went and got a Holley 105mm GM throttle body bracket for a cable. It worked perfect. Fucking perfect. Came with 2 gaskets. Didn't come with hardware. I'm gonna have to tighten that in. Oh shit. Didn't even notice that. That's loose. I'm gonna have to go and check all these bolts and make sure they're not backing out. But the throttle cable went in nice. The dipstick went in nice. The lines were really easy to make. I ended up using PTFE lines, which are like a Teflon inner lining. But I have it running to the radiator and then to the cooler, so it goes in here. This is the pressure line, goes in here, comes out here, comes around, goes into the top of the transcooler, and then it comes out of the bottom of the transcooler, goes back into the transmission. But when I first started it up and putting fluid in it, I left the return line out and basically ran it and kept filling it with fluid until fluid started coming out of the return line, tightened it up onto the trans, filled it up a little more. I think I put like 12 quarts in it so far. But so far it's doing pretty good. When it's cold, it's registering on the dipstick, not running. So I know that it's really close to being the perfect full amount. So it's getting close. But I'll fire it up real quick, just because I can. Now that it's got trans fluid, I don't, I'm not scared of running it for more than a few seconds. So I'm gonna prime it a couple times for the pump because there's no pressure. I think that regulator's messed up or something. It just kind of bleeds out. And then we got our Phytech gauges here. Can't do it too long. There's no alternator plugged in, so it's kind of struggling right now to stay running. But man, she sounds good. But I was getting ready to go to the parts store and get some. Don't worry about the dirty seat. My son's been playing in here. But I was gonna go get some 1/4-inch coolant line and some clamps. And then once I hook up that coolant line back behind the alternator, I can bolt the alternator back up, put my belt back in, fill it with coolant, and get this motherfucker up to temp. So hopefully that'll happen today. I mean, and if all goes well, I'll do my shifter this weekend too and drive this thing down the road and back, just to do a little shakedown. Because I still have no gauges, and I still have no oil pressure gauge, so I don't know if I have oil pressure, sadly. But this thing ain't ticking, it ain't doing any crazy shit so far. So I guess wish me luck. Hopefully everything goes well today. So far it's a nice cool Saturday here in Missouri. I'll do another update probably this weekend, but so far it's looking pretty good. It's looking real clean. I just used some diamond plate aluminum sheeting that I had laying around, cut some strips out of it, and then used that for my radiator mount. And on the bottom, I didn't have any isolators anymore. My old isolators were trashed, so I had to get a new sway bar. So I used my old sway bar bushings, and they cupped around the bottom of the fucking radiator perfect. And they sat flat down in the core support and everything, so it's fitting really, really nice. I'm liking it so far. As long as there's no leaks, everything will be good. Wish me luck. Hopefully later this weekend I'll have this thing going down the driveway at least, because everything's damn near ready. I only need a few things and I'll be able to get it back up to temp. So I guess till next time, I'll talk to y'all later.